Hi Cancer, happy birthday. It's your time and it's the most intense month of the year. Not just for you, but for all signs. It's the first solar eclipse in Cancer in a series of eclipses which will happen in your sign over the next 2 years. It's the longest lunar eclipse of the century. It's the closest that Mars has ever been in a decade to Earth, and it's retrograde. And some of the most significant planets are visible in the sky. If that was not enough, there are energies which are helping us as well. There is a grand trine, there's a water trine, and let's see what else is there that's happening to help us this month. Let's see what's most significant and what affects you and how. So, the most significant event for you for this month is the 12th of July new moon solar eclipse in 20-degree Cancer, which opposes Pluto. Now, this would affect any of your planets, sun, moon, rising if it is within 16 to 26 degree of Cancer, or if you're born between 9th to 19th of July. This eclipse will significantly affect you, and even if you're not, this is a very significant solar eclipse for all Cancer because it's in their first house. So when an eclipse happens, a new moon solar eclipse happens in your first house, sun and moon comes together to create something new for you. There is intensity because Pluto is opposing it, so you should be open to transformation during this time. And the effect for this new moon solar eclipse you would already be feeling now, because this starts having effect at least 2 to 3 weeks ahead of time. So I'm recording this on 28th of June. You should already be starting to feel the effect of that. This is brand new beginning for you. Very emotional time because you are a lunar sign. You are ruled by moon. So any lunar activity, and this month is full of lunar activity, you would feel on the edge. You would feel more emotional. It will pull you a little bit. So you got to be ready for that. Sun and moon coming together, it might create either something new in your career or in your love life, or in case this is on your sun, it might create a new career path, a new future for you. If it's on your moon, if you're a Cancer moon, then where you live, or your house might undergo a change, or it might be new motherhood. If it's on your ascendant, then how you look. If it's on your Mercury, then a new start on how you communicate and come across to people. So there's a transformation in one or the other area of your life, and it begins the first solar eclipse in Cancer. Over the next 2 years, you'll see series of 2 to 3 such eclipses happening in your sign, and it's the time for you to balance you focusing on yourself versus relationship. Cancer is a very nurturing sign. There's a lot of dedication towards relationships. So the next 2 years is going to teach you how to balance your relationships with you focusing on yourself, your career, how you look, your health, transforming yourself in that way. And this is the first start in that direction. You also just had a full moon in your seventh house of relationship and marriage partnership and business partnerships on 28th of June, which would have effect initially in July as well, which will be active in some ways during this eclipse as well. What that would have brought about is some sort of manifestation, a change, possibly not an easy change, but in long run a positive change in your marriage or business partnership. It is an opposition, so it may not be very easy, but both Saturn and Pluto are sitting in your seventh house of relationship, transforming it completely. So this eclipse and the full moon that happened on 28th of June is all in direction of you redefining how you balance your love life or your marriage life or your business partnership, with you focusing on yourself and you doing things for yourself and for your destiny in the world. So that's the kickstart, and I can't emphasize enough. This is a new phase of your life starting, and you should be prepared for the next 2 years to come with this. Now, this is not coming alone, or this is not coming without the requisite support that you need. Sun is in your house. This is Cancer season, right? So there is a lot of light on your personality. You have a lot of energy to make changes. There is a beautiful grand water trine which is supporting you while this happens. Sun is in trine with Jupiter, which is in trine with Neptune during the first 2 weeks of July, which will give you positive energy to handle this change. When Jupiter is going direct in your fifth house of love relationships on 10th of July, it will give you manifestation of some sorts in how you love and who you love. So when Jupiter had been moving retrograde in your fifth house of love, relationships, and children, you might have been reviewing how you manage your love relationships. It's all in the same energy, right? As I said, you're reevaluating how you handle your love relationships, your children. You've been giving a lot of love to your children. And when Jupiter goes direct on 10th of July, it shows some positive effect coming about in your relationships. It might bring about a divine love as well. If you are looking for a new partner, it might bring about a new partner in your life as well. Now, between 12th of July to 27th of July, there is a lot of positivity. It might bring about new messages about how you manage your love, network, etc. You're redefining how you love, how you are in a relationships. So you're spending a lot of energy in your marriage and partnerships, while your friendships and social networks, because Uranus is in 11th house, so your social networks are also undergoing a lot of changes. Just during this period, just be careful about the moodiness and the health, especially you're sensitive towards you have food sensitivity, so just be careful of your stomach, that you're taking care of your gut health, etc. during this month, because eclipses can be a little bit harsh on your health, especially your stomach area. So and Sun is opposing Saturn, so if you're a early Cancer, which means that if you're born say end of June, you might feel a little bit of Saturn opposition coming in, which is not a very positive, which is not a very happy thing to have during your birthday time, but it's sort of a serious period as well. So but just know that if you've done your work, especially in your relationships and in your friendships, you would see results of that come through as well. Now, if this was not enough, we move over to 27th of July. Now, before 27th of July, obviously, Sun will move into Leo. There's focus on your resources. There's also Earth Grand Trine, which is happening. So Venus will be in positive energy with Uranus and Saturn. So your social houses and relationship houses, as I said, are positively lit. So whatever changes you're bringing about in this area might happen in a more positive or easier way for you. New love might suddenly come up, or you might make a new commitment as well during this time. Now, at 27th of July, you have the full moon lunar eclipse happening at 4° Aquarius in your 8th house. This energy at the end of the month is very transformative, and this is a very significant lunar eclipse because it's the longest eclipse of century, and it's happening in not an easy house. It's happening in 8th house of transformation. You have been having eclipses in this house for the last 2 years, so this is, I believe, the 4th eclipse in Aquarius which is happening. So it depends. If you are an early Cancer, you might feel it stronger than others, but it is much more intense than the previous eclipses that have happened, because it's squaring Uranus so there is a sudden change or even a harsh change coming about, and it's conjunct Mars and conjunct South Node. So there is some amount of letting go, there is some amount of harshness and suddenness coming about with this lunar eclipse. Mars is also retrograde at this time in the same house. When Mars is retrograde, Mars is trying to teach you how to use your energy in the right way, how to be more strategic in your joint resources, how to manage the stress in partnership resources or in resources that you have coming in from external sources as well. So if you have any loans and there is some rework going on in the loans from the financial institutions, or if you have some inheritance under dispute, all of those things might be playing out as well. This lunar eclipse is active for the next 6 months. It's not a short-term change, but it will bring about a closure. The positive side of it is it brings about some sort of closure on an ongoing issue, on a baggage that you might be carrying. Maybe you underwent a trauma and this is a good time to let that trauma go, let the issues of the past that are bogging you down go, because you're moving into the time, as I said, of complete transformation in yourself. You're going into the north node in Cancer and eclipses in your first house phase, so you'll be going through a lot of changes over the next 2 years. You want to let the baggages of the past go. If there were some old partnerships which did not work out well, any joint resources that did not work out well, you want to be more financially independent now, getting some of the financial obligations that you have from external institutes, you want to end that. There are some inheritance issue, as I said, which you want to end. It might also bring about light on some hidden pursuits that you might have had, because 8th house is also a hidden house. It's a dark house. It's a house of hidden pursuits, of hidden talents, of hidden occult arts, or spiritual study that you might be doing, or hidden legal issues that you might be dealing with, and those might come to light and might undergo a completion of sorts. Again, any lunar activity for you is intense. You are ruled by Mars, so when sun and moon are in opposition, which is what happens in case of a full moon, you would feel this very strongly. So just make sure that you are letting it all go. You're if there's some sort of suffering that you've gone through, take this opportunity. This is the last eclipse in this house for a long time to come. So if you have any baggage, use this opportunity to let it go. You also want to be careful about any accidents. Just stay alert about that, because when Mars is retrograde, tempers are high, mishaps do happen, so be careful about any accidents during this time. If your partner resources are undergoing a change and it's causing some stress, see how to balance that out, rework that with your partner. Mars retrograde is all about teaching you how to deal with these crisis situations in efficient way, and you have already gone through a number of lessons in that. This is the last chapter before you close this part of your life and be most efficient in it, and you move on to creating a new you going forward. I'm really looking forward the next 2 years for you. Good luck and happy birthday again. Thank you.